Hi guys, welcome back. I'm really sorry I messed up. These 2 weeks that you've gone without an episode, all 17 of you. I'm really it's all on me. It's not on Vinny. Stop sending him hate.
Please. I can't sleep.
He keeps crying. I buggered up the audio. That's on me. But we're back.
We're back.
And we're gonna. So this is episode 5.2.
Yeah.
This is the lost episode. We spoke about a couple of things, so we're going to rapid pace through them.
Yeah.
Because during that episode, we had a phone call from director Mike Clark, who recommended a film for us to watch. So we have that to talk about today, but we also have the films that we recommended each other last time.
Yes,
so
4 weeks ago.
Four long weeks ago. I'm so sorry. But it's good to see you. It's good to be back in the seats.
It is.
In-house. Recording in front of the camera that we just love to do.
Mm-hmm. So used to it.
Yeah, let's dive in. Star Wars, I'll be honest, I got through an hour and a half of it, but then my Disney Plus expired. And it stopped me from... I went to cook my tea and then I came back and pressed play and it had gone. And I know it was 4 weeks ago, but I still not watched the ending.
It's unbelievable that that's a thing.
I know.
I know. Boo hiss boo.
It was... a lot more self-contained than I thought it would be. I imagine the trilogy, it gets bigger. I enjoyed it to a certain extent. It was nice to see all the faces like Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher. That was really cool. The Two Moons, that was cool. Love C-3PO, good crack. Really made me giggle. Yeah. But obviously, I don't know how it ends. So, who knows? Well, I mean, I know Darth Vader ends up being Luke's dad.
Mm-hmm. That's the next one.
Is it? Luke, I am your father, all that. But it's more than that, Star Wars, isn't it? It's a way of life, as we've discussed. Yeah. As you've so kindly discussed.
Yeah.
How many showers have you had since the last episode?
Too many to count, so I don't even worry about it.
That's a good thing.
I have 2 a day most days.
Really?
Yeah.
That's isn't that not bad for you?
I like to be clean, what can I say?
Do you shampoo and condition each time?
Once a day.
Oh, okay, so one shower you just get your hair wet?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And mainly just a body wash, just to wash away the day.
That's good to know. Right, cheers for that.
It's all right. You're welcome, everyone.
You know, short-haired people are lucky. Every time I go to the hairdresser, she says that I have ridiculously thick hair. I don't know what...
Not a bad thing.
Well, yeah, I suppose not. I don't really know what it means. I'm not... I don't know if you could tell, Vinny, but I'm not entirely the most girliest person on the planet.
Really?
What the fuck are you trying to What are you trying to say?
I'm not trying to say anything.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What is it about me?
I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can say it, you can't.
Oh, well, right. I already have. So
sorry. But yeah, I don't know what it means. But yeah, you could just jump out of the shower, your hair will be dry.
Yeah, it takes 10 minutes.
Yeah, I can see why you like it. The discourse and stuff, I had you go into that in the last episode, but we've got so much to get through today. Maybe that's something that we can get to at a later day.
Yeah. Maybe with a guest.
Maybe with a guest. You'll
help me out.
Yeah, bring your mate on. I don't know. You've met that guy. What's he called?
Hayden Christensen.
That's the one. Maybe we can get him on, and you can.
Seems unlikely.
I don't know. You friends with him? Are you not?
I met him for about 2 minutes.
Oh yeah. How much did you pay for that?
Can't remember, but it was...
Don't lie. How much was it?
Well, it was split between 2 people.
Okay, how much was it?
I think it was about 125 each.
Jesus Christ. To meet someone for 30 seconds and get a picture, that's crazy.
I know, it's unbelievable. We just it's a rare thing, these conventions, they only happen once a year, anywhere in the world.
He could just...
And then he was like, Comic-Con for a lot cheaper, but, we don't worry about it. We didn't know that. We didn't know at the time.
Would you not just rather, be walking the streets and bump into him? This is what I don't...
Yes.
Yeah. This is what meeting groups kind of freak me out.
Yeah, I wouldn't do one again.
Yeah, because there's so many people that I would love to meet, but I feel like if...
You don't want it to be artificial.
Yeah.
You want it to be real.
I'm not going to lie, I fucking hate Matty Healy. I just think he's a very obnoxious person.
Yeah,
I mean, say what you will about his music. There's some tunes that are all right, but I think that he has this character that is he just loves to aggravate people. But he did say something about people who do meet and greets. They should ask people to start paying them in cash. Oh, yeah. So you would turn up to Hayden Christensen or however, and then give him £300 cash, and then very quickly they'll realise how fucking stupid meet and greets are.
Well, he was getting pictures with people for free if you like saw them around. People were getting selfies with them and stuff.
I mean, I get the idea of going to being at a convention,
professional photos.
Yeah, but then I don't know whether that's me.
No, I absolutely agree with you.
An anxious person, because there's so many people I would love to meet, but to spend money to go have that moment with them, I'd much rather just accidentally bump into them at a bar and just be like,
too.
yo.
I mean, I was a younger man.
It was last year.
It was the year before.
All right, 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was 2 years younger.
2 years.
It was over 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you change every 6 months, so that is 4 versions of you ago.
Yeah, you could say that. I don't regret it, but I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to come across that. I hope it didn't come across that you should regret that, because you shouldn't. But I was just saying that we could get him on the podcast, maybe.
I wouldn't object to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, that's Star Wars. So, After Hours, do you want to talk about that?
I do. Now, it's been a while since I watched it, so let me think. I liked it very much.
It is a classic. Well, it's actually not what I wouldn't say it's a Scorsese classic, because I think it sort of flies under the radar.
Yeah,
I
think you could call it a cult classic.
Yeah, of the era that it came out in.
Yeah.
It's great, and we've talked about it multiple times.
Yes.
Very Kafkaesque.
Yes. So it's just a living nightmare, non-stop, and then it all wraps up at the end.
Physically, he actually does get wrapped up, doesn't he?
He does. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite a horrible thing that happens to him, really.
Yeah. Well, it saved him, but then he does get robbed.
Yeah. Then he's back at work.
Yeah. Full circle.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Did you notice the cut at the end? You don't think you did you? Because it goes this big swoop around the office.
Yes.
And then it cuts. There's a really weird cut. And then you see someone walk out of a booth, and they got the long leather coat on and big boots and that. And then people think that that's Death. And Death has been chasing him around all night.
Could be.
Fun little fact for you. Could be. I also read into there's a lot Greek mythology or something, some connotations.
I didn't really get much of
that. Yeah, I mean, my housemate studied it for his thesis.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's we were talking about this yesterday. Do you know in school, and you would read a book and it says, the curtains were blue.
Yeah.
And then you have to be like, why were the curtains blue? Oh, it's because the characters are severely depressed and the curtains were just blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could say it about any film. It's subjective, isn't it? But that's
there's a lot,
people have compared.
Some films have levels,
Yeah.
Depth.
I mean,
some films have no depth.
Some films don't even scrape the surface.
No.
That's a good segue. Should we talk about? No. Have you got anything else that you want to add to After Hours? The cameos, Griffin Dunne's performance, anything? Good
performance by Griffin Dunne.
Wow, thank you for that.
Yes, and
I'm sure he'll appreciate it as well.
You're welcome, Griffin Dunne. Our number one fan, obviously. Well established.
You never know.
I've got no idea.
No clue.
No. It's very colourful as well. Well, I guess that's just whenever I watch an older film, even though it's only about 40 years old, it's like, oh yeah, films used to have colour, didn't they?
Yeah. What is that? What do you think that is?
It's just the physical film, isn't it? It's the pan of.
Yeah.
That's the thing, but it's. I don't know. It's just.
The film,
not
films
digital.
Dancing. Is that? Do you think that's the issue, or do you think that maybe?
And also colour grading these days, everything has to be grey because everything has to be grounded and gritty.
Mm.
And not everything.
Sometimes,
I shouldn't speak so reductively. But
well, I mean, it is true. There is a difference. I mean, there's definitely when you go back to the 50s and they used to paint the sets.
Yeah.
Technicolor.
Yeah, Technicolor.
It was just it's absolutely beautiful, and then as you get more real. The more realism is introduced, I suppose, maybe the less you think about the actual. But I think that there's definitely directors and auteurs out there that I know it's slowly making a comeback.
Yes, I think as I say, every filmmaker working now is awful. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. You just notice it more.
Notice the difference
in films that 40 years old.
Maybe it's something to do with price as well. I don't know.
It is more expensive to shoot on film.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, but then when you've got an unlimited budget, like so many films do.
Yeah,
the big ones.
To talk about Sinners again, that was gorgeous.
No complaints
again,
on that.
Was shot on film.
I guess the good films look good,
Yeah.
and the bad ones don't.
What do you think about? I do love a gritty film though. Like this is England, Shane Meadows.
Yeah,
that's so bleak, but
the colours nice.
Yeah, colours are nice. The costumes.
I'd like to. I should look into the cinematography behind it because it looks older.
This is England.
Yeah.
The 80s itself was just very colourful, wasn't it?
Mm.
Well, I say that like I was there. I wasn't. My dad was. So was my mum. And they say they would corroborate that it was corroborate. They would say that it was maybe a more colourful time. I don't know. Maybe we're just really depressed.
That is true. Everyone's mentally ill.
Yeah, so painfully. Can I tell you something that I found today that I absolutely have to put in a song? We'll talk about it a little bit because I've been writing some new tunes and stuff. But I saw something today and I had to fact check myself. So do you know how we would be like, oh God, I'm so depressed?
Yeah.
Or like, It's
quite a morbid thing to say, really.
Yeah, well, yeah. But do you know what they said in the Victorian era?
No.
Got the morbs. Isn't that good?
That's amazing.
Got the mobs. That's amazing. I'm going to put it in a song. I think I'm going to make it work somehow. Well, I mean, there's loads of ways.
But if you said that now, people think you're referencing Morbius. And you just don't.
You've just ruined it for me.
Oh, sorry.
For God's sake. No, but got the mobs. I think that's amazing. That's so much better than just being like, oh, I feel like shit.
Are you going to start saying that?
Yeah, I got the mobs today.
And then people think, what are you talking about?
Well, I'm like,
this whole Victorian thing.
These Victorians, They've got something. So yeah, After Hours. Would you out of 5?
Out of 5? I think I was on the fence last time. Last time we spoke about it.
Yeah, we have spoken about this before.
But I'd say I give it a confident 4 now that I've
nice. I like it.
Many weeks to think about it.
God, so long. So as we spoke about before, we had a caller, Mike Clark. We spoke about him before. We met on his film.
Did that one.
We did that simultaneously. That was cute, wasn't it? Yeah. We spoke about him a few times. He rang in, and then I botched the audio. But he told us to watch a film, which I'm going to let you pronounce.
Delicatessen.
Because I don't want to butcher it. Delicatessen.
Yeah.
French
exactly
film.
Right. Yeah.
I've got the IMDb. It was a French film. Can you remember the director's name?
Jean-Pierre
Jeunet. I'm going to presume that's how you pronounce it. It came out 1991. What did you think about it, Vinny?
What did I think?
Well, first of all, Mike, don't take any of this personal. This isn't an attack yet. What did you think about it?
See, I'm not going to be attacking because that was a look, because I kind of liked it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I thought it was a load of fucking dribble.
I thought it was really interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you're smiling at me, like you just don't want to tell. You don't want to say that you didn't like it because
no.
Tell me that you didn't like it. It was
you
shit.
Really you actually thought? Well, I believe you that you feel your way about.
I feel pretty strongly about this.
See, I watched it, and I thought, oh, this is an interesting concept because it's like the entire society in a building. I was like, oh.
We watched it at the same time, didn't we? Because we texted
more or less.
I was like, oh, I'm sticking it.
Yeah, it was the same day, around the same time.
What a load of hogwash! Like, and I've been watching back these episodes, and I'm not taking a stand enough. You give us a hot take about Interstellar. I'm sorry, Mike, but it was a load of shit. If it was scarier, so it's about a future post-apocalyptic world, and a butcher owns a butcher's, and above the butcher's is an apartment.
It's like a built-up.
Yeah, it's a building.
Like a tower,
it's
a
a society
sort of thing. Yeah, it's a society within a building.
What I will give it looked gorgeous. The colours, coincidentally,
and it was all dirty and horrible.
Gorgeous,
yeah, nice,
gorgeous, and
in a good way.
And the cinematography was great, and there was some really interesting musical elements to it. But in terms of like the actual story, like how it starts, is so interesting. Like the guy's hiding in the bin, and then he like cuts him. So basically, it's post-apocalyptic world. I read that it's a little bit about like vegetarianism, or like everyone's vegetarians now. Like
it's like so the currency is all like food.
Yeah, like the animals are running out or something, something along them lines.
Meat's like a
delicacy. Whoa. But so he hires the butcher who is also the landlord, hires someone to help around the apartments for a while, and then a
former circus clown.
Yeah, but
maintenance man.
Yeah. So he was right at the start. Right at the start of the film, he gets the people to come in, and then after a couple of weeks, he just kills them, and then feeds his.
That's the meat.
Yeah, that's the meat. Yeah. The butchers. That's what he feeds his guests. Not guests. What are they called when
tenants?
Tenants.
Yeah.
And that first 5 minutes was so spooky, and the title cards of it all coming through. And it felt like it was all practical. Like it didn't.
I think it definitely was.
Yeah. So that I thought was really cool, and people should do that more.
There you go. That's something you like.
Yeah, I'm not saying. Well, I am saying because it was absolute drivel. I feel so strongly about this. That first 5 minutes was so good, and if it had that element of horror to it throughout, I would have been sold. But the way it looked and the colours and how it was presented, I was like, this should be fucking terrifying. It's so stupid.
So you think it was too goofy for you?
Yeah, I feel because Mike as well. Some of the films that he's got me to watch before have been and other French films, they're so scary. Yeah. And then I've gone into this, maybe I've been a bit prejudiced because I'm thinking, oh well, it's definitely going to be a horror. This is going to freak me out. It's going to be fucked up. I've watched Yellow Jackets. I love Yellow Jackets. They're all cannibals. I've seen much more disgusting things than that. I was not I was watching it. It just went on for so long. Felt like I was watching it for hours. And you can come at me if you want, Michael, but it just was not a fan. And I was really hoping that you didn't like it either.
But I'm sorry to disappoint.
Well, what did you like about it?
I like.
I like the colours.
I like the. I really enjoyed the concept of the society in the building and how it's
that's cool.
Different classes in different rooms.
Yeah.
And how I thought it was.
Tell me it was shit.
It was very French.
So.
But it was a French film, but it was very, very French.
Very, very, very French, and even
very
the
stereotypically
people,
French.
Yeah, the people, the main character,
almost intentionally.
Louison. Don't know. Yeah. I'm sorry, I was kicked out of language classes in high school, and I'm a bit ignorant. I've got Duolingo. I'm learning Spanish though, so sorry, French people.
All the French people out there that are watching.
Fuck this bitch. What was I saying about him? Louison, his face. I mean.
The main.
Yeah, the main fella.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
His face.
Have you seen then? I'm not coming at anybody's looks, but obviously he was played a clown. But do you know them gurning competitions that people do? Do you not just think that he looked like that?
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put him and the landlord's daughter together.
Oh God, no. But you could tell that was something that just happened every time. She just felt bad. But then, when a dad would actually kill someone.
Maybe she properly liked this one.
Bet she fucking scrammed it. You
think she was a liar? She was insincere.
No, I think that every person that her dad hired to eventually kill, she fell for because she felt bad.
That was very fun, yeah.
But then when he eventually did kill them, I bet she scrammed them. Nobody's business.
Okay, so what did you think of the whole the end where when they're running away, he hides in the bathroom.
In the bathroom and
then
water.
they flood it, and then the floor.
I thought they were going to kill themselves then, and I was like, why?
They're going to try. I kind of thought that as well.
Eat you.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it was really
cool.
cool.
The whole set thing, and then when you spoilers for a 34-year-old film.
Don't bother.
And he's got this boomerang knife thing that he throws at the guy.
That's cool. That's cool. I'll give you that. It's a little bookend.
And all the people you want to see get hurt.
Yeah,
it's satisfying.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's a rewarding ending.
Maybe I got a little bit too het up about it.
Maybe the middle part sort of alienated you a bit. And then,
and I also like the whole underground people. I was just.
I enjoyed that as well. How it was a separate society that was all at war with the building people, and they want all the corn
I think I really wanted to like it because of how gorgeous it looked, and I mean I've got no leg to stand on. That's why I feel sometimes I don't want to criticize something because it's just who am I to judge? But just as a personal opinion, and just from someone who has been recommended films from this person before, from Michael Clarke before, and really enjoyed them, he just really let me down with this one.
Well, maybe the next one will be more to
Maybe
your
I'll ring
taste.
him right now and be like, listen, we've just absolutely slated you to death. You got to give me a good film.
We?
Oh, yeah. I know. I was really hoping that I really thought we were on the same page with the looks that we shared.
Oh.
So what would you give that out of 5 then?
3.
You can't.
I didn't love it. I'm not saying I loved it. I definitely liked
it.
it.
Be more. Where is your rage? Where's your passion?
I have no rage for this. I'm sorry.
I know. I think it's just because it's been a couple of weeks. I'm just getting a bit hot.
I guess if I was to criticize, I didn't like the way it made me feel. It made me feel a little bit too uncomfortable.
Really?
In terms of.
Really? No, because I think.
But
that's why I didn't like it, because it didn't make me feel uncomfortable enough. Like, is that something wrong with me?
Yeah,
like,
maybe I'm just hungry and I feel a bit sick. So maybe because I'm thinking about all that grime and all the horrible,
but
and the sewer people.
I just think people have gone, like, they've teetered up to the cannibalism.
Yeah.
They've walked up to the line and they've just put like their pinky toe over it. When it's like, I've watched things where they've like gone up to the line and the line is so far behind them.
Yeah, it could have been more violent. And is that what you would have wanted? More, a bit more like
not necessarily
people
violent,
getting chopped up and stuff.
Not even necessarily violent, just more like just darker about it. If you're chatting about cannibalism and everyone's starving, then I need to see that. I mean, you see it a little bit with when he forces the grandmother. That was pretty dark.
Yeah,
it was like, why couldn't that be the whole thing? Like, I just needed it to be.
Maybe there's another cut of it. Maybe there's a director's cut.
I
which is more what you
didn't
want.
do much research into it.
No. Well, the director, he did an alien film. He did one of the bad alien films. I think it's the 4th one. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, right.
But he also did Amélie, which people like, and I haven't seen.
I haven't seen it, but I have seen that people like that film.
People like that film.
I'm sure people like Delicatessen as well.
I think people do.
I just was not one of them.
I don't think it's like a massively highly rated film, but I think it's appreciated
again,
a little bit.
To reiterate, I think the reason I didn't like it was because when you tackling something dark like cannibalism, I expect you to fully go in for it. When I feel like they were maybe it was the 90s, but then again, I've seen much darker films from
I wouldn't say it's
it's definitely they're French, for fuck's sake. Like, it just needed to be more like, it didn't feel like a horror film to me, and that's what it is sort of branded at, like a comedy horror.
Like a black comedy.
And I mean, the comedic elements, like the musical elements, you know what I'm talking about? Like, everything's in time. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
But then also,
there's like that sequence where she's like playing the double bait.
But then I was also just kind of like, what does this add to the story? When are they going to start scranning everyone?
That was a bit random.
It was random, but again, it's cool, and it's just French. It's very French.
If you like French.
Yeah. I mean, I would recommend... I mean, no one is going to go off my recommendations. I'm coming hot today. I'm really sorry.
I think it's worth a watch.
Yeah. Okay.
I think, it wouldn't hurt. It's only an hour and a half-ish.
Yeah, sort of, I guess. If you want to age 5 years.
Maybe you watched it in like 0.5 speed.
No, I definitely didn't.
No.
I don't know. I just to go back to that I like Yellow Jackets, the TV show, and it's about you can't really compare the two because it's a TV show from the 2020s and a French horror film from the 90s, but tackling the same sort of thing. Like, it took a season, granted, it took like a season for them to actually eat someone.
Right.
But I'll have to show you the scene. It's fucking mental. Like, they accidentally cook their mate. Their mate freezes to death. And then she's kept in... it's the winter, so they can't bury her. So they decide to burn her, and then they all wake up and they're like, it smells like chicken. And then they go out and they've accidentally cooked her. So then they're kind of all like, it's what she would have wanted. And then you just see them like ripping her apart. And like, but it's intersected with them all having this like Roman or Greek sort of massive meal, like with the pigs and stuff.
Yeah.
And like that is so cool and so right and such a good way to do cannibalism. And I just feel like it just didn't. I'm not into cannibalism, by the way.
Are you sure?
But I do. I'm a vegetarian.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, right, I'm gonna get shit for this, but sometimes I do think that I would sooner eat
a person than an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just reminded me of what someone, and I'll pose this question to you. I don't know whether you've been asked it before.
Oh.
If me, for example, say I was in like an accident and I lost my arm.
Right.
And then I rang you up and I was like, Vinny, listen, I'm having a dinner party. Come round, and I get all of you round, and I present my arm to you, and I say, listen, I'm fine. I want to eat this arm. I will cook it up. We'll season it. We'll do whatever you want. We'll whack it in the oven. I don't eat meat, so I don't know. Like, boil it. I don't know. Will you eat it with me? Would you eat my arm with me?
No.
Really?
Why would I?
Well, because I'm asking you to, and it's my arm, and you eat meat. Oh no, you don't. You're a veggie. Well, part time.
It's the whole thing.
Oh, you're not a veggie anymore.
No.
Oh.
It's complicated.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, but so you wouldn't eat my arm.
Would I be the only person eating your arm?
No, I told you I'm having a dinner party. I've invited all my closest friends.
How many?
I don't know, like 5, 6 of us. We're all sat around, and I've said, "Listen, I've been in this life-changing accident. The only way I can move forward is if we all sit here and cook up my arm and eat it."
I'd do it if everyone else did it.
Okay. So what you're telling me is like I just need to bring it, but I feel like the only permission that you would need is from me, and I'm asking you to.
Well, yeah.
I'm alive and well.
It's not really a question of ethics. It's more of like do I really want to ingest another human being?
Get the hunger.
Yeah, what if I like it too much?
Yeah, innit? Because there's no way. There's a.
What if I crave that flavour again?
Funny episode of It's Always Sunny where they Frank tricks them into thinking that they've eaten human meat and they get the hunger. It's so funny. It turns out that it's just like not monkey. What was it? Like no, I can't remember the animal, but whatever it was, they had like worms or something, and that's why they thought they had the hunger. It's fine.
Oh.
So anyway, talked a little bit about cannibalism there.
We did. Is this a segue?
What are you doing after this? No, I just,
You really want to experience what it's like to eat a human being?
Whoa, no.
Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that if you're going to go to the line and you're going to tell the story about cannibalism, I expect you to go
full send.
Full send it, mate. I'm not suggesting that it was half-arsed. I'm just suggesting that they could have gone further with it, and I would have enjoyed it more if they did.
Sometimes, like, more subtle, a bit more nuanced, is a bit more like...
Maybe, but not...
Not show, don't tell. I guess not show and imply.
Not show and don't tell. Because that's what it just felt like if there was a little bit more that was happening, yeah. But that's just from me.
But I thought it was really all right.
Yeah, well, do you know what? It was all right. I came in a bit hot. It's been a couple of weeks since we've done an episode.
Yes. I'm not in a rush to watch it again, but
I
kind of liked it.
I would watch more French horror.
Yes.
Because I like the look of it.
Mm-hmm.
But that particular story did touch the sides, mate. I was not.
Well, you can't like them all.
Can't like them all.
No.
Speaking of not liking them all, did you watch Doctor Who this week?
I did.
Okay.
In fact, since we last recorded the episode, I watched the entire season.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's not go straight to there. What did you think of the season as a whole?
Solid.
Yeah, better than the last one.
Yeah. I thought genuinely really, really solid. I thought Ncuti was finally coming into. Well, I mean, I say finally, but obviously with the bi-regeneration or bi-generation or whatever they're calling it, he was slightly overshadowed because as long as there's a David Tennant out there somewhere, that's all anybody's ever...
They can bring him anytime.
They're going to bring him anytime, and that's all anybody's ever going to talk about because, yes, that was the golden era of Doctor Who. Do I ever think that we'll get to that level of it again? Probably not, because we're not kids, and TV isn't consumed that way anymore. And I think that was a big element of why it was so big in for us and such an integral part of our childhood. But I feel like he was coming into his own. I quite liked Belinda.
Yeah, I did as well.
Martha Jones vibes.
Yeah, nurse. Yeah.
Martha Jones, severely underappreciated.
And what's she doing? She works for UNIT, right? So where is she?
That's a good question. Hang on, my headphones have gone funny. Does she work for Unit?
I thought so.
I don't know. Maybe she's doing other things.
She definitely did at one point.
Yeah.
Whether she went off with like Mickey at the end.
The Osterhagen key, didn't she?
Yeah.
Jazz. Who knows? Hopefully they'll bring her back. Actually, someone that I know that was a runner on Dan Sloan's Good Behaviour is a big Doctor Who fan, and he commented on her post telling her to be like the 17th Doctor or something, and she liked it.
Oh, well, so there we go.
There we know. Probably that's basically a confirmation of what's happening.
I think it definitely is.
Yeah. So, yeah, season finale. I thought the two-parter, I thought the first part, really good. Because if you look at last season, it was a...
Yeah.
At the end of that first parter of the first season with Ncuti, you automatically know that there's no stakes because everyone in Unit disappears and Thanos, Thanos. So you know they're not going to kill off all them characters. There's no stakes. Everything's going to be fine, and he's going to fix it.
Yeah,
like super easily, and that's essentially how the season 1 finale of Ncuti went down. This season finale, season 1, I thought was great. The stakes are completely different, and also actually there. Because it's not, you know what I mean? You don't see anybody physically, like that whole, them all disappearing for me was just like, oh, well, that's going to get undone.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing definitive there. But for this season finale, part 1, I was like, no, this is actually, I quite like this.
Yes, yeah.
Season 2.
Episode 2 of the finale.
Yeah. We'll talk about up until the last 25 minutes.
Yeah, because it sort of finishes quite a while before it actually finishes,
And I have my theories
about
it. But
well, I know some stuff.
Yeah. So, again, solid episode. Like, I mean, I know that people will say, like I said, it won't ever be anything like the Tennant, Eccleston, Smith era.
It was a different time,
It's a different time, so you have to sort of. I mean, it took me a while. It took me 10 years to let go of Matt Smith as the Doctor. I have not got him like captured anywhere. But as a series finale, I thought it was really strong. Yeah. The whole Omega, I thought that was a bit like. People aren't so happy because he's a person, so the fact that he's a CGI monster. I
wasn't particularly keen on that whole thing, to be honest.
I thought the Rani getting scrammed up was funny.
Yeah.
Mrs. Flood being out there somewhere, that's cool. That carries it on. And the scene in the TARDIS when they put Poppy in the crib.
Yeah.
And they've taken off a coat and they're passing.
Oh, yeah, and it goes smaller and smaller and smaller.
Is absolutely beautiful. That is unreal writing. And when I first watched it, I thought Ruby was looking at them like with like a little bit of like jealousy. But then I realised that this thing's getting smaller, and that's so good. That is so good.
And I wonder how they did that. A bit of trickery.
Good question.
Magic.
Good question. Probably we should watch Unleashed. They'll probably tell us.
Yeah.
But that actual scene was such stunning storytelling. I think
it was beautifully tragic.
Yeah, beautifully tragic because that's what Doctor Who is. You know,
it really hasn't been quite like that.
It's not. But when you
for
think
a while,
like,
successfully
anyway. Rose getting stuck in a parallel universe.
Yeah.
Martha's whole family being captive for a year. They figure they fix it all, but they remember it.
Yeah.
Donna Noble losing all of her memories. I'm gonna get emotional. Amy Pond with the Weeping Angels. The first time she was truly scared in her first season, and then the Weeping Angels are the ones that eventually got her.
Yeah.
Obviously she's River Song's mum. Tragic. Clara sacrifices herself because she's too much like the Doctor. Bill obviously gets turned into a Cyberman.
That was brutal. That one,
absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
That's
did not see that coming.
No, that's really, really dark. That's what I mean. Doctor Who it has that whole element of tragedy is so important to it.
And I thought like this new Who. It's like started in like 2023.
Yeah, with the 60th specials.
Yeah, it felt like that was lacking quite a bit.
Yeah,
up until now.
It seems to be very Marvel, where it's like the whole world's at stake. When it never. Of course, there was some like there's some imminent threat to humans all the time. Yeah. But in some season finales, like Trenzalore, that wasn't really like Matt Smith's regeneration wasn't really about Earth at all.
No,
he was protecting people, but it wasn't protecting people on Earth. It's doctors and character driven stories, and it's about them as opposed to.
And it was good to see him like not on Earth and like in a significant way.
Yeah. So, and I think that although I've enjoyed it being like UNIT being involved more, even though like I love Kate, bless her, but she doesn't have to get some shit lines. Like I think we are all your children. The fuck. While I was waiting for you at the station, I saw
just a reel of they're taking the music out.
Oh, I've seen
that. It shows how awkward it is.
Yeah, it's very awkward. Like, everyone's looking around like,
we're all your children. Like, get away from me.
It's a bit dumb.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But so up until that point, when Poppy, disappears and they pass the cloth over, and then Ruby's like, "You had a daughter. You just had a daughter. She was called Poppy." And then the Doctor winks at her because I think, and it probably is, the original ending was that.
Yeah.
But the Doctor remembers that he had a daughter called Poppy, but he's saving Belinda from that.
Yeah.
Something has happened where Ncuti Gatwa has left.
Yeah.
Is this what you know about? Or?
No.
Okay.
That's related to the very end thing.
Oh, okay.
But I do. What I do know about Ncuti is that, well, I say I know. Who knows what the truth is?
Yeah.
But like. I mean, it was just what I saw. I just saw an interview with him, but it was from BBC, from the official Doctor thing. But it was him like how he knew. He sort of implied that he knew he would only have 2 seasons because he said, "I knew from the start that this was coming, but that could be." But he seemed like he said, "Oh, I'm ready to finish it now." But he's speaking as if he'd been doing it for like 5 years.
I know, but I saw something where it's like when they announced him as regenerating in the Giggle.
Yeah.
And then him appearing in the Giggle was actually longer than the entire time that he was Doctor.
Yeah.
But what I have seen, and again, I don't know whether this could be complete bullshit, but I've seen that he left because he wasn't sure whether they were going to get renewed. He wasn't happy with the scripts, or he wasn't happy with the overall story, and he didn't want to lose out on any more work.
Yeah.
And that's fair enough, and each to their own. I'm sure he really cares about my opinion.
I'm sure.
But when you have, and I'm gonna go full blown nerd, but it's like when you're dealing, if you are so lucky to be considered to be the Doctor, you see it through. I think.
Do you think until they want to get rid of you?
Yeah.
Well, that could have been.
Yeah, but there's so much implying. Like Susan, where's she? Like there is definitely a 3-season arc.
Wait, which one was Susan?
His grandchild from the original.
Original. They showed her.
Yeah, showed her, and there was definitely rewrites and extensive reshoots, and that's why and they've made this whole wishy-washy reason to bring Poppy back, and then that brings into question why Belinda was even a character in the first place. She was talking about how she wanted to she was a nurse and how she loved her job and she didn't want to be a missus, and that's the whole thing, her introduction, and then she ends up being a daughter. She's always been going home for a daughter, and that questionable writing. But I suppose if he has decided that he's leaving, then they've had to do what they can with what they've been given.
Yeah.
And just I know it sounds stupid, but I mean, with Christopher Eccleston, he was only there for a series, but
he brought it back and he did more.
Yeah, he gave it full circle. And I'm not saying that Ncuti Gatwa didn't give it. He was the Doctor who cries, and I think that's really good. Because you never see that, because you used to say that quite toxic sort of, I'm always fine.
And he was sort of meant to be like a new. It's the same person, but it's sort of like by generation. It was like a fresh start, proper fresh start, not just normal.
So and I feel like he was really just coming into his own, and I just feel like if you're not happy with the scripts or what, or however the story is going. I don't know.
Maybe one more season to see how it could have gone.
I mean, it's the Doctor. You're going to regenerate at some point. So just, for that time of your life, he is a gorgeous, very talented man. That work is not going to dry up just because he's being Doctor Who for an extra couple of years.
Yeah, surely not.
Like, I mean, again, we don't know what's happened behind closed doors, whether there's been any disagreements or something. But I just think that if he has left for that reason of, not wanting to turn down any more work, not knowing whether it's going to be renewed and stuff like that, I just feel like it's just unfair to fans.
Okay.
Because, diehard fans, I know.
Yeah.
The general audience, consumer, doesn't really care. But if you... this is so stupid. But it was an integral part of my childhood. I don't know whether...
It was pretty significant for me.
It was, and it was...
Between 2006 and 10.
Yeah, big. It was like my whole life. I feel like it shaped me a lot. So nerdy. We've talked about this before. This is why I'm not into Star Wars, because I had to draw the line somewhere, and I had to draw it at Doctor Who.
When you say nerdy, do you shower?
Yes. I didn't today though. I don't know whether you can.
Yeah, I can sort of.
Yeah. But I just feel like you take on a role, and he knows how big it is. Yeah. And I just think that you see it through to the bitter end.
You think you would, wouldn't you? Because it is such a... I know it's like TV.
Yeah.
And he's got the potential to go on to do film.
He's a huge actor. He's a huge actor.
Yeah.
He was in Barbie. He's not short of work.
Yeah.
So for him to leave because he doesn't want to turn down anymore.
This was sort of his first biggest leading role though.
And maybe he wasn't happy with how it was coming across.
I feel like that might be likely.
Yeah.
More than.
But I would get that if it was from season 1, because season 1 was a bit touch and go, but season 2 was so strong. Yeah. So if he was, I just want to know his thought process through season 2. Like, at what point was he like, no, I don't want to do this anymore? Because I don't know. Like you like Jodie Whittaker, for God's sake, was dealt the shittest of cards.
Yes,
she's an incredible, phenomenal actor. Yeah, like I've seen her in loads of things. That cameo, that 3-minute cameo she was in at the end of that episode, was better than.
It wasn't shameless.
It was great, and it was. Yeah. And so just, I mean, not to shit on Chris Chibnall, but it went in the wrong direction. And she was dealt shit cards, but she saw it through. She stuck with it. I mean, she might have thought that
wasn't she for New Who? Wasn't she like the longest?
Because we had like COVID and stuff,
yeah.
And then they had to break. Sort of like they didn't do series; they broke them down into
lots of specials,
specials and stuff because of like COVID and stuff. But what I'm trying to say, I feel like I'm walking around it, but it's like the Doctor is a character that you can't take lightly.
No.
In some essence, I suppose he's a bit like James Bond. I don't know, but it's like that.
Yeah.
You have a lot to carry. You have a lot to carry on your back, and you see it, and you see it through.
Yeah.
Or you make it work. And if he was going to leave, I feel like that whole regeneration and that whole, the story of why it happened, and even his speech, I can't even remember his last words. That's supposed to be a tearjerker for everyone. It was like joy to the world or something, or I have enjoyed this. What the fuck? Like, you can't.
I guess the reason for the regeneration was a bit.
It's stupid. It's stupid.
Low stakes.
Low stakes. It was for.
But I guess maybe that's the point though, because it's for one person.
Yeah. But
wait, no, is that one? Is that? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was just for her, just for one person that wouldn't have existed.
Yeah, it was about like.
It was about how one person's really important.
Yeah, which I get is fine.
Yeah,
but it's like if you wanted to leave, you go out with a bang, and that was not a bang. I didn't hit whatsoever.
Yeah, I remember. And obviously there is that joy to the world thing, because that really bad Christmas special.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
No, maybe really bad is harsh.
I really love Stephen Moffat, and I think that the Time Hotel's really interesting.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Execution,
and I like how they brought it back for the finale as well.
Yeah, which is really cool. When Anita sees him and Rogue, that's the thing. There's so many open ends. Like if Ncuti Gatwa knew that he was leaving, and
they wouldn't have had the open ends.
He was content with that being his, having so many loose ends. Then I don't know why he did it in the first place.
I mean, when things like this happen, it's always down to money.
I know.
I know you don't want to believe that, but
it's like that's why David Tennant.
I think David Tennant was the highest paid one.
Yeah, but it's like there's a reason that he keeps coming back, but it's in his life. It's like Peter Capaldi as well. I doubt he'll come back, but
probably not.
He was a huge Doctor Who fan growing up.
Yeah,
David Tennant was also a huge Doctor Who fan growing up. There's that weight that you carry when you're playing that character and when you get the opportunity to play that character. So I just think I'm a bit pissed off that they've left this era. Feels like he's really just gotten started, and if it is the writers, if it's something to do with Russell T Davies getting rid of Ncuti Gatwa, which I don't think, like I feel like he's left, or they've left on mutual terms, but for them to leave it
so many things really,
for them to leave it like that when they're trying to rejuvenate it and trying to appeal it with this whole Disney thing, which also I think is bullshit.
Yeah,
I just think messy. Messy is the perfect word for it. They've just left it so messy, so many loose ends. Like Rogue was like the love of this Doctor's journey.
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden he's in love with Belinda. And then, you know, there's Ruby. Ruby is a fucking phenomenal character.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I
think I prefer Belinda, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe it's like an actual companion, but she's got multiple realities in her head. That is an interesting character. She can remember things that no one else can remember.
Yeah.
That whole thing from 73 Yards.
Yeah.
The Wish World. And then there's something else that I'm forgetting, but she can remember it.
Yeah.
So Belinda. Yeah, she's maybe more interesting as a companion, but in terms of like Ruby's stakes, she's like that River Song sort of presence.
Yeah,
she has that River Song presence to her because she has these multiple realities. So I hope that she comes back, and I hope that they tie that up. And should we talk about the regeneration? You've got thoughts?
Yeah, I've certainly got. Well, it all relates to what you're saying. You're saying was it Russell T Davies that decided to get rid of him? Because the regeneration, spoilers. I guess this is what River Song says. It does feel very phoned in.
Yeah.
And apparently, I've heard that it was only shot in February this year.
Jesus.
And that season, I'm confident it was shot over a year ago.
Yeah, I remember seeing the leaks of him in his blue suit and that. So that was the finale, and that was well over a year.
Yeah. So apparently this was only shot in February, and Billie Piper. But here's the thing though, and I've seen people say about this: when it's the credits, it's introducing Billie Piper.
Yeah.
Doesn't say as the Doctor.
Yeah.
Which is why it's been for all the other ones. So. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's going to be just a Christmas special thing. I think it's a
Bad Wolf thing. It could be. I also think that it could be a fake out. Is he gone for good? I would like to, there was parts of me where I'm like, maybe he comes back. Maybe this is all like a...
If he came back, I feel like...
I know he's done his whole like goodbye. Maybe
that's the thing.
Maybe there's maybe they've 180'd it. Maybe it's a whole big, what's the word? Like they're just trying to throw us off the scent. Maybe he's stood behind him. Maybe he's bi-generated again.
He's like, what?
Yeah, because...
Maybe. Because that's a good point.
The whole thing, the reason he died is because he looked into the heart of the TARDIS.
Yeah, you absorbed
the last person who did that obviously was Rose Tyler.
So it's gone back into him.
Yeah, so it does make sense. And I'm not going to lie, nostalgia bait, it is. And it will.
That could work quite all right as a temporary thing.
Yeah, it will work. It's worked on me. Like David Tennant coming back for the 60th with Catherine Tate, that worked on me as well. I will buy into the nostalgia to a certain extent.
Yeah,
there is a really good way that it could execute this, and if it is Bad Wolf, and if she isn't the Doctor, I don't want to say that I wouldn't mind her as the 16th, because I get it, because the whole thing was they were trying to, this new Who with Ncuti was to bring it to a new audience, bring it to the kids again, and and they've sandwiched in with David Tennant and then regenerated into Billie Piper.
Yeah,
so that is just like shit, what was I saying? I'm just fucking livid today. I completely forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah,
you're seeing red.
So there's a way that they could execute it for sure with the Bad Wolf. With it being a special, I've seen that it could be a couple of specials because it's the celebration of the 20th anniversary of the reboot from 2005. For Eccleston,
They're doing something for that.
Well, this is what
I assume there's a Christmas special.
This is what I'm saying. Like it, that's why people
think 2 in 1 kind of thing.
This
Christmas
is why
and
think Billie Piper's come back because it's been 20 years since they originally came back.
Yeah, I mean.
So I just think it's I mean, some fans will relate, and I don't know about you, but I will see it through to the bitter end. Like, it's been too much of my life for me to give up on it completely. And I think it's the same with other things. Like when you're attached to something, you know, you can. I mean, you might feel the same about Star Wars with all these spin-offs. Or
I guess. But I get what you mean.
Yeah, we spoke about it a couple of times in terms of like, not people who are real fans of something just love to hate it.
Yeah,
and we don't want to be that. So it's like, in that sense, as a Doctor Who fan, I'm not going to give up on it just because they've regenerated into I said Billie Eilish then. That'd be sick.
People would be angry that it's an American Doctor.
Yeah, American Doctor, an American woman Doctor. Christ.
God,
I can smell them from here.
Nerds, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of smelly Doctor Who fans.
Yeah, oh yeah.
At least them, mate. 1,000.
It's just,
in the Northwest.
I've also seen that she wasn't even there for filming and she's green screened on. I've seen that. I don't
know
if that's true.
Well, I think it must have been. But then again, they've done it. So if that was only shot in February, would that have meant the whole 20-minute sequence was shot in February? Because that doesn't seem likely.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I've also seen like Billie Piper's, one of her recent Instagrams is her holding up a rose saying a rose is a rose is a rose. So the idea of her not being the Doctor makes sense. But it is like, I think I've come across angry, but I am more than upset than anything because like it was really coming into his own as the Doctor. And maybe he couldn't see that himself. Maybe he...
That's if he is even the choice. Like it was if it was his choice that he left.
I'm talking like I'm certain
as if it is.
It's his choice because I can't see it being anything else. But then again, what do we know?
Maybe they weren't happy with the ratings and the viewership. Maybe they
but
think
then it's like I think about the ratings and the viewership, but then they've just released the trailer for the spin-off. So it's just like if they've filmed that a long time ago. So it's like
they must have some confidence in it.
They must have some form of viewership if they've some constant that is the reasoning why they've got a spin-off. So it just doesn't make sense to me. I'd love to know more. I'd love Ncuti to be here so I could talk to him about it and tell him that he was a great Doctor and he's really coming into his own. And I don't think I coined it, but I called him the Doctor Who cries.
Yeah, but
I don't know whether I don't think I came up with it.
Probably
but
not,
he definitely is the Doctor Who cries, and I saw people.
That was refreshing, I thought.
Yeah, very refreshing because it's nice to see him have human emotions.
Yeah, usually we just scream a lot.
Yeah, and
which I also quite like.
Yeah, who's your favourite Doctor?
It's I like. Well, speaking of shout, I really liked when Matt Smith's Doctor would crash out. Start shouting.
I
liked his voice. It's like you know when someone tickles your brain.
Yeah.
But obviously, I was 8 when David Tennant left, and I was one of them that stopped watching, can't watch it anymore. And then I came back watched a few episodes of Matt Smith's between 2010 and then 12 years later, I came back and started from the beginning with Chris Jackson, watched all the way through, all New Who. And then so it was that was the end of 2022. So it was after Ncuti had been announced and all that. And then I think it took me about 5 or 6 months to watch it all. And then I watched it. I'd seen all the New Who up to ready for the 60th anniversary.
So who's your favourite?
Favorite? I don't know. I'd say you can't have two favourites, can you? But it's hard for me to not say David Tennant because in terms of episodes, he had the best episodes. But I really like Matt Smith. Yeah, I do.
I think we're the same age.
Yeah.
So I think people literally a year older than me. It's David Tennant.
Yeah.
But it's that 1 year where it switched because it is for me. It's Matt Smith because that's the one that I grew up with. Because that was the one that I was going over to my mate's house every Saturday night or whatever it was, and watching it. But obviously David Tennant is the Doctor.
Yeah.
In the most, I don't know.
It's interesting because his doctor is a bit of a dick.
Yeah, when you look at, I've seen people rant about it. He's a narcissist.
He kind of is.
Yeah. But then again, it's just
I'm
like
okay with that.
Yeah, innit? Because then
that's they can't all be the same.
But when
they have their own thing.
When you think about it, it's like I don't know how long Christopher Eccleston's doctor was around, but Matt Smith's doctor was hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
Peter Capaldi's was millions of years old.
Yeah.
And then David Tennant was only 4 years old. He was a little baby.
Did he not? Was he only around for 4 years?
I'm pretty sure canon. He was only around for them 4 years.
I don't think Christopher Eccleston was around for very long.
Well, it was like he was going to be the war doctor. He regenerated after the war.
He was after.
Because he was going to. They wanted him back for the 50th, but he was Zach Rusty, Zach Julie Garland. So
it seemed that.
And it's like for me, I think because of our generation. Is Matt Smith because we grew up with it, and like you said, like I had to take breaks. I remember when I first watched it, I was a little bit too young because my mum showed me the Are You My Mummy episode. Yeah, shut.
So I don't think I watched that. I watched it 2006 onwards.
Oh my god! I remember. So I must have been 4. My mum's insane. Like do you know that bit at the end of, because it's 2-part, isn't it? The first episode of The Empty Child.
Yeah.
The doctor's coughing and all that massive.
Oh yeah.
Fuck me, man. And I remember literally screaming and crying and throwing up.
It's just not scary like that anymore.
And then I came back a couple of years later, and I came back and started watching it live when David Tennant was doing his last year of specials before he regenerated.
Yeah.
So obviously I'd watched all of his series before I watched Matt Smith. So I was up to date, but I didn't watch it when it came out. But I grew up with Matt Smith. Like I watched that, and I think that Matt Smith, his doctor, Amy Pond's character, Rory Pond, River Song, and we've been chatting for an hour now, so we'll get back to it at some point. But I do want to have a debate about River Song being one of the best characters that has ever graced television.
Wow.
Stephen Moffat's baby, mate. 15 years, like, her overall arc took, and they executed
it. Was it that long?
Like, yeah, about 10 to 15 years, a whole arc. Like, when she's last seen in Peter Capaldi's thing, it is a good, maybe not 15, maybe 10 years, but that's like, and they just did it, and they
does it go full circle? So it's like her, it's reverse, isn't it?
Yeah. So then, so when Peter Capaldi, when she first meets David Tennant,
that's the last.
She's just come from Peter Capaldi. He's given her a screwdriver.
Yeah, because he's
fucking perfect. Like the whole arc is so cleverly done.
Yeah,
her whole reveal had me gobsmacked.
Did Stephen Moffat write Silence in the Library?
I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'll double check. I'm pretty sure he did, because I think at that point he knew that he was taking over.
Oh,
then
right.
He did Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi, and he had been writing since days.
Because he did.
Yeah, he definitely did Silence at the Library.
He must have.
He must have done it. But River Song as a character, I think, is probably one of the best characters as a whole to grace television, and that's just because of the complexity of it. Like I was saying before, like in terms of, to keep it Doctor Who related, like I said before, Ruby might necessarily not have been the best companion, but in terms of her character, like it's a very complicated character. She's got multiple realities. Like that's really interesting, and it's
you do a lot with her.
Yeah, and it's like Clara. She wasn't my favorite companion of Matt Smith, but she was my favorite companion of Peter Capaldi.
Yeah,
and her. It's like I was so heartbroken when Amy Pond left. So fucking heartbroken. So it took me so long to warm up to Clara, and when I finally warmed up to Clara, they killed her off. Absolutely. Well, they didn't kill her off. She's cheated death, but in the sense of
doesn't she have a TARDIS?
Yeah. So in the last episode, when Ncuti said he's got the only TARDIS in existence.
But does the Doctor not know about her having a TARDIS?
He doesn't know about that one, but he does know about the tree TARDIS, which is Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah.
He also knows about the other one that 14's got. So he's just bullshitting. Yeah. And just one last note, because we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
I don't mind Billie Piper as the Doctor, because that means we get one step closer to Rose Tyler and River Song kissing.
And that's confirmed. We can confirm this now that is happening in the Christmas special.
Hell fucking yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
Anytime.
Service for the gays.
That's what we need.
Yeah. Cater to the gays. The gays show up The gays fucking show up, mate.
What does that mean?
Like, catering to the gays, like make make a show.
Yeah.
Show people whatever you want. Give us a gay character. Give us a lesbian
and you'll
character.
watch it.
Give us a love story. We'll be there.
Yeah.
We don't care how shit your actual TV show is, as long as there's a good love story, little gay love story in there. We're seated and we'll see it through to the bitter end because we show up.
Words to live by.
Words to live by. Yeah, that's my that's my point. We were going to talk about music today, but we didn't.
No.
But we were going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
No.
My opinion on Billie Piper.
Oh shit! I'm so sorry. I've been talking at you. It's one of them. One of them episodes.
No, you're very passionate about this particular topic.
Yeah.
And
you've picked. Yeah.
I think the things you have to say have to be heard.
Thank you.
It's all right.
I knew I picked you as a host for a reason.
Yeah, because I'm a good listener.
Yeah.
I don't care about Billie Piper being the Doctor or not. I'm not.
Are you gonna keep watching it?
I watch it, yeah, because I like the show as a whole.
Yeah.
Doctor Who as a thing.
Yeah.
As a complete thing. I think a lot. When I did that watch through, I just told you about, it was quite a slog. Because it was quite long and it's. I found some of it a bit boring. I couldn't name any specific parts. I
mean, there's always filler episodes.
Yeah.
Like Love and Monsters is well shite.
I kind of like it. For my sins, but yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't know where this has gone. I'm quite tired.
You're telling us about Billie Piper.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Okay, when it happened, I started laughing.
Yeah,
I think I told you.
I laughed.
I thought it was really funny because like I'd been told, because that day actually I was out all day. I was with Kobe. He was like my only friend from the Play Videos podcast, and we were at a bar, and he'd just gone to somewhere, and he'd looked at his phone. He'd been on Twitter, and he came back to me and said, "I've just seen a Doctor Who spoiler," and
you didn't let him tell you?
No.
Oh, that's crazy. I was straight away. My mate texted me, and I was tell me.
He wouldn't tell me if I asked him to. But he told me. I was like, oh. I was guessing things, and the closest I got was, "Oh, Rose is back," which isn't
too far off. A rose is a rose is a rose, as Billie Piper said. Cryptic.
Yeah. So I didn't guess it really. I was like, "Oh, Matt Smith's back."
He was in the episode.
Yeah, but that's always happening where they're showing all the ones. But yeah. Whatever. I don't really care what happens with the show because all the stuff I like, it's there.
It's like contained.
Yeah.
But I think that's what people are pissed off about. It's like Rose Tyler's story and the whole Bad Wolf thing. It's so perfect. They're sort of undoing it by bringing her back, and it's like the same with people with Catherine Tate.
But then that story before still exists, so you don't have to pay any attention to. This is, I guess, that's related to the hater culture.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes with like something I like a lot more than Doctor. I like Star Wars a lot more than Doctor. I care about it more. But even if they release something that's shit and that is like,
you just pay no attention, pay no mind.
You don't have to. You can watch it, don't like it, whatever. But it doesn't have to. Nothing that they ever bring out will ever ruin anything else for me.
Similarly, you're not going to walk away from it. Like I said, that I wouldn't.
I don't think I would. No.
Yeah, because it's a.
Just because they've done one bad thing. It's loads of different creatives with these things.
And I'm going to be showrunner one day.
And when you're showrunner,
yeah,
we'll be able to sort it all out.
Yeah, I'll be able to sort it. I'll bring Amy Pond back.
I'll
sack Russell T Davies. I'll bring Amy Pond back.
Yeah.
It's
you could have a spin-off with Clara in it, or the TARDIS.
Yeah, that'd be good. What is Jenna Coleman up to? Because I'd bring her back. I don't care if it's a fan service. I don't give a shit.
They're going to do like an Endgame thing, surely, where everyone's there.
100%.
Everyone that's alive is
100-year anniversary. They defrost David Tennant. Yeah.
Like they did with Rylan in that episode.
Yeah, which was funny. That was great.
Because I can see that happen.
Yeah. We can pick it back up. We could talk about it again. This episode will be out by the time we record the next one. So I've started posting on TikTok, so maybe we'll get some feedback off some Whovians and see what they say, and we can carry on, because I've definitely not said my piece. I've said some pieces, but not all of it, and we can pick it back up because there's other things that I wanted to talk about.
There's plenty. You could. That's a big show.
We've been chatting for an hour now, so we are gonna.
Yeah, we probably.
Are you content?
I'm content.
I'm content. I'd like to apologise again for dicking up the audio of the last couple of episodes. We're back weekly. I'm pretty sure we do have a shoot coming up soon.
We do.
No, but thank you for listening. If you have any thoughts and opinions, please let me know. But don't shout.
Yeah.
I'm going to go see whether Vinny's TikTok has got any hate since we've been recording because I
hate me. Oh, no, please don't hate me.
No, I have an incessant need to be liked. Anyway, peace out.
Bye.
I need to stop fucking doing that.